I've been thinking about this more recently, given the times that we're living in, and I'm wondering do you know what VUCA means? Have you heard the term VUCA? We use it in business. It's been in the military for a long, long time, decades now. And I think it really aptly describes the times that we're in. And if you love someone who's dealing with addiction, this is where you potentially live most of the time. So VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And clearly, we are living in volatile times. All of the things that are going on in geopolitical in the United States with tariffs and so on and so forth, not knowing, not being able to count on what was, and being in this space between what is emerging. And this is actually where I, for a lot of the time, have lived dealing with my son's addiction, is in between this space of what I knew was and used to be and the truth about what was and what is emerging. He has just celebrated 2 years clean and sober. And I am very aware that even with that celebration of 2 years, which is awesome and fantastic to see him seizing his life and taking it back, I know he could relapse tomorrow. Relapse is a part of the journey, and no matter how long you have been clean and sober, relapse is a distinct possibility. So, given the fact that we, as those of us who love someone, live with the notion that relapse can occur, that can be relapse for the person that is dealing with addiction or substance use disorder. And that could be our own relapse in terms of us continuing to worry, us continuing to think something's wrong, us continuing to stress, us continuing to think that we can do something about controlling, fixing, and saving our loved ones who are adults dealing with substance use disorder. So for a lot of us, the volatility of this disease, because you never know what corner you're going to turn, what day is going to come, what potentially is going to show up to greet you on that day. And then there's obviously the uncertainty of not knowing at all. Change is possible all the time. And so we are humans. As humans, we have certainty and uncertainty as part of our needs. So I would be really mindful of what things you are certain of, which is your own agency to manage your emotional mindset and your mental mindset. The things that you know to be true in your life that are right now, if you have a roof over your head, if you have a square meal, eating every day, all of those kinds of things. Get really clear about what are the things that are certain in your life, but also embrace the uncertainty and the unknown. So then the C stands for complexity. This is messy stuff. It's not black or white. It's very gray. And so in the mess of that all, in the complexity of that all, please begin to get clear about what is most important to you. What is most important to you? For me is the connection with my son, no matter what is going on. That is the most important thing. Another most important thing is that he is always aware that no matter what happens, he will always be loved with boundaries. And then A stands for ambiguity. The relationships that just aren't clear. Unknown unknowns. We don't know what we don't know. And that's the disease, and that's life, and that's how I am aware of that I'm living in a VUCA world all the time. And what I choose to do is take my own agency of what I can control, which is me, my mindset, my heart set, my spiritual set, my psychological, mental set. I can work to be strong and resilient and joyful and to be able to find laughter and be grateful for my life and the people that are in it, and even the disease that we have dealt with Sam, because I have grown so, so much. I have learned so, so much. And without that being cracked wide open by dealing with the grief and the struggle and the pain of watching him deal with his disease, I would not be where I am today. I would not be talking to you today. And for this, I am immensely grateful. And in some weird way, learning to skill up in all these areas has prepared me for these times that we're living in right now so that I can embrace VUCA. I can embrace the volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, the ambiguity, and know that that is the ocean, the world that we are swimming in right now, and that it is causing and calling me to rise to that next best version, continually to rise and into the next best version of myself. It's a never ending process. And so I keep opening these windows and doors in who I am and how I show up, and being intentional in who I am and how I show up. Setting an intention every morning to love, to serve, and to impact, to be grateful, to be wise, to listen deeply, to care, to be empathetic, to be immensely curious about people's journeys and my own, and to be open to reaching out to others, to thinking differently about solutions in a time when we're kind of in a place that we've never been before. And so the innovation of solutions and possibilities might look completely different than what it has looked like in the past. And what I'm going to strongly encourage you to do is to be empathetic with yourself first. Do the self-care that you need to do in order to be able to navigate these times really, really at a high level. Sleep is first and foremost. I was listening today to someone sharing with me that we can actually live weeks without food, but we can only live 11 days without sleep. Sleep is mission critical. And if you need to access better sleep habits, we have created a 21-day sleep challenge that's available at voicesencourage.com/sleep. And I would encourage you to give it a try. I work with sleep with all of my executives because they make much better decisions. They are in a much clearer place. They can walk with more confidence and more creativity, and life is just better, and business is actually at a higher level. So I encourage you to be a student. If you haven't accessed perplexity.ai or ChatGPT, which is an AI tool, I would encourage you to do that. Look up VUCA, ask for explanations, and ask for, how do I navigate in the midst of a VUCA world? Again, take your power back, take your agency back. You are stronger than you think you are. You are far more powerful than you might think you are. And I don't mean powerful in making somebody else change. I mean powerful in your own happiness, powerful in your own joy, powerful in your own happiness, and powerful in knowing that you have a purpose in being here. Use these moments, and please, please, please utilize the disease of addiction, the journey of grief and suffering as a call to an elevated, more conscious version of yourself. So again, be a student of VUCA, but also be a student of, how do I navigate at a really high level during these VUCA times? learn, reach out to a tribe that you trust, that has your back. Figure out how to be really extraordinary in who you are right now. Until next time, get plenty of sleep and be courageous in your own power.